And Ruby was not only going to be her maid of honor, she was going to help plan the wedding. The whole thing was very exciting. Ruby chided herself for not being more enthusiastic to wake up and get started. "What's the plan for today?" she asked, sitting up. "We're going to check out a few possible venues," Margot said, "and Olivia wants to talk with us about plans. She wants to meet at the farm for breakfast." "Sounds good," Ruby said. "Do I have time for a quick shower?" "Sure," Margot replied. "I'll be in the other room. I have a couple of calls to make." Ruby watched her go. Somehow, Margot was already showered, dressed, and looking wide awake. Ruby only wished she were a morning person. She dragged herself out of bed, hoping the hot water of a good shower would wash away the vestiges of her dream. As much as she enjoyed thoughts of Parker, her friend was getting married in short order, and it was Ruby's job to plan it. These next few months needed to be all about Margot and Kent. Ruby. Half an hour later, Ruby and Margot were pulling up the gravel driveway of the farm, the trees on either side growing close enough to form a tunnel overhead. "Can you believe it was just a week ago that we were riding our bikes to get here?" Margot asked dreamily. It figured that Ruby's optimistic best friend had apparently already forgotten what had happened when they'd arrived last time. Ruby thought about how Regina Talbot had nearly stolen the contest away from them both, right there on the farm. "It all turned out fine," Margot said in a teasing way, as if she had read Ruby's mind. "I guess it did," Ruby said, grinning. They parked and headed up to the farmhouse, where Olivia was already seated at a picnic table, chatting with a buxom woman with long brown hair. "Margot, Ruby, this is Sage," Olivia said as they approached. "Hi," Ruby said. "Come on, have a seat," Sage said. Ruby sat on the bench next to her friend and took in the spread. The table was practically covered with platters of pancakes, eggs, sausage links, and bowls of glistening sliced fruit. "We have a big family living here," Sage said with a smile, "but you guys get first dibs." Ruby figured it must be a very big family if the feast was just supposed to be breakfast. Sage handed her a mug for coffee, and she took the carafe and poured out a nice serving. "Sage is the public relations liaison for the men from Erie," Olivia explained. "Our resident PR expert." "I don't know about expert," Sage said modestly. "Look at the numbers for the first show and tell me you're not an expert," Olivia said, rolling her eyes. "Anyway, Sage has been talking to me about how to make an effective wedding show for aliens." "Big picture, it's not just about aliens," Sage said. "Just like So You Think You Can Marry an Alien wasn't just about aliens. Most wedding shows have a theme. Destination wedding, wedding with an overbearing bride or family member, weddings on a budget, that kind of thing." Margot nodded. Ruby tried to imagine Margot as an overbearing bride, but she couldn't do it. Ruby's family was in the wedding planning business, and she knew how to size up a bride. Margot was good-natured to begin with, and now that she was madly in love with Kent, she was downright jolly. There was no way they were going to get her to go full bridezilla. "We're thinking that between the way these guys fall hard and fast and the demand for another show quickly after the success of the first, we have to do something entirely different," Sage said. "What did you have in mind?" Margot asked. "Although we are keeping the working title, My Big Fat Alien Wedding, our theme is Wedding in a Week," Olivia said with a smile. "Wedding in a week?" Margot asked, looking a little shocked. "Yes," Sage said, "but don't worry, you'll have a ton of support." "The whole crew, of course," Olivia said, "and an extra special guest star." Olivia paused to take a sip of coffee, allowing the suspense to build. Ruby took a sip of her own coffee, wondering what minor celebrity was being brought in to sing at the wedding. "It's Tag Tuckerton," Olivia said softly, her eyes flashing. "Who's that?" Margot asked. Ruby nearly choked on her coffee. "Oh, wow, you don't watch a lot of TV, do you?" Olivia asked Margot. "Tag Tuckerton is the star wedding planner. He's had several reality shows. Right, Ruby?" Ruby nodded wordlessly, still recovering from her surprise. "We absolutely have every confidence in you, Ruby," Olivia said quickly, clearly misunderstanding Ruby's silence. "We just thought that with the quick turnaround you could use a partner. And of course, Tag is used to the televising."